And wow, look at that for a run out. This is sick for Ahuja. 3.5 million in this pot. On a day like this with 24 remaining, you've already locked up the guts of 6 grand, playing for €250,000, just shy of €243,500 for the winner. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Take your time with all your decisions. Realize you're going to be playing a very long day of poker. If you want a podium finish, just remaining composed and thinking clearly and confidently about all your decisions. One hand and it could all be over. There's a man that needs no introduction. A virus facing the open from under the gun from Marius with the pocket kings. Just wants to be calling this one. And look at this. This could be curtains for Dennis with the 2 black jacks. The Jeffries on the button here. Sub 20 bigs to start the hand, facing an open from under the gun and a call. A lot of dead money out there if he can pick it up pre, and if he gets called, going to be flipping the majority of the time. Would be very unlucky to run into queens, kings or aces. So I feel like this should just be a jam from Dennis, even if it was an under the gun open. We've seen these under the gun opens can contain hands as weak as ace-8 off and queen jack off. I've seen it with queen 9 suited, queen 10 offsuit off this 30 big blinds, or even less sometimes, and these baby pairs. So I feel like we should just be getting it in. Yeah, and he does that. Just goes for the 3-bet to 475 with 500k behind. Essentially committing himself, pulling in half his stack. But this will look strong. Doesn't matter how strong it looks. Marius is going to be getting in the kings of kings. And Dennis is going to hate his life here. But he is pot committed. We've seen him get away from top pair after check raising it off 12 bigs, I think, to start the hand on. With ace-9 on ace-10-4, something around that area. Late last night, and he survived with 8 bigs, and he got back to 20, but this is looking bleak. Ace-King 3 is the flop set for Marius, and now things looking even worse for Dennis. There's the 7 of clubs, seals the deal. We lose Dennis in what I believe to be 24th place. We have our field graphic back, ladies and gentlemen. We have the field today, Gustavo. In the top right-hand corner of your screen, you can see that there are 23 players remaining now, from a starting entry field size of 1,526.
Raise 125, 6-4.
Looks like we've got action here. Dan under the gun, raised to 125. Ace King off suit. Marius with the 2 black jacks in the hijack. Most likely, well, I won't say most likely. Could see him 3-bet this one as well, but he might just want to call.
7 raise, 325.
I think Getting value for your jacks here. 3-betting, probably the best play also.
One fold. Two fold.
Luca in the big blind with ace queen suited, but it shrivels up considerably considering he's facing an open from under the gun and a 3-bet from the hijack.
Three raise. $625.
Luca is not deterred. He's going to 4-bet to 625. Sexy, spicy stuff here from Luca in the big blind. And guys and girls, if I'm Adrian Dan under the gun here, I'm going to strongly consider mucking ace king.
Five raise. All in.
But again, taking into consideration who the 3-bet is coming from and who the 4-bet is coming from, just decide he's going to play for it all and 5-bet rips. And now it's Marius, who surely has to just get rid of his jacks. Going to ask for a count, of course, but surely can't continue now.
$1,750,000. Me fold. Card, Mr. Please. 7 folder.
And the jacks do indeed go into the muck.
5 win. I fold jacks.
Luca gets rid of his ace queen and the ace king will scoop. And all in by default in the big blind for 45k. Ends for Robert in the cutoff. We've got action here because MC has 2 black ladies on the button.
raise, 350.
Make it like 350 for MC. Yeah, goes for 3.5x. Back to Robert.
Full call. 1, 2, 3, 4, 45, 180. 225, huh?
Robert will call.
125. Okay, 3 players, 1 is all in.
Nine three three is the flop, and that's
Check.
not a good flop for Robert. MC with the overpair. Robert with the overpair. His inferior overpair. He could lose some chips here. MC something around 250, 300 here.
4 players, 45, 180.
Even a bit smaller. Quarter pot. Does go for quarter pot, 200k. And looking at what might have been, Robert will call. Deuce of spades on the turn, puts another flush draw out there. Some additional straight draws. Robert checks again. Now MC can size up a little bit. Make it like 600, 650. He's going for a little bit bigger.
4 players, 945. This one is 800. 5 bet 800.
MC betting 800k here. Like the sizing. Going to get called by a lot of draws. A 9. But remember, Robert limped pre from the cutoff. Robert can't be going anywhere just yet. We'll have to call to see a river. Wow. Gets away from it. Wasn't expecting to see him fold 10s there. Essentially losing the minimum in this hand. Him calling pre, calls the flop, and folds the turn. And Dan needing an ace on this river or he is done. It's the 8 of spades. Dan has been eliminated. MC will scoop those chips now, playing 60 big blinds. Adrian Dan from Romania has been showered. Experience is going to be a big factor here.
For raise, 200.
Robert min raising from under the gun with aces, and Sadu in the hijack with the ladies. We've got action.
3 raise, 550.
He is going to 3-bet to 550. Guys, this could be one of the biggest pots of the tournament. Let's see what happens here. Cheng facing an open and a 3-bet. might be able to get away from his pocket nines here. See, if he shoves here and Robert clicks it or shoves himself, Sadu is going to be forced into the situation where he's going to call off with his queens, because it's going to look like Robert is just trying to isolate. I'm not saying that Sadu and Robert won't be getting it in anyway. There's a lot of ICM at play here. It's not just standard stuff. This is the thing. This is going to look weaker now when Robert clicks it or shoves it. If you're sitting in Sadu's shoes, it looks like Robert's trying to protect against a 7 big blind stack. Now, I know Cully did 3-bet to 550. It's just going to be a lot harder for him to get away from these ladies. I'm not sure what Cheng is supposed to do in this situation. I think we just fold. With 7 bigs, you can't really blame him stacking off. At the same time, it's an under the gun open. But the under the gun open isn't a full table. A lot to consider here. What does Robert do? Does he click it to 1.4, 1.5, 6, 1.7, or does he? He wants to know how much Sadu has. Wants to know how much Cheng is shoving for. A shove would look weaker, but shoving 63 bigs is just going to be too much here with aces. So you want to make it about 1.7, 1.8, maybe even a little less. I guess you can only make it 1.4 minimum. Yeah, what about 1.7, 1.8?
Make 200.
1.8.
1.8 looks like is the bet. And I don't know if Cully can resist shoving all in over the top here. So much money out there up for grabs. Now Robert is going to have pretty tight range to 5-bet to 1.8 million. If there was a time to get rid of your queens, it might be now. But Sadu is going for the opposite option, and I don't blame him. Is going to get it all in. Look at the size of this pot. 12.545 million. Sadu just 11% equity. Robert set to have a monstrous chip lead. Unless he gets unlucky. Fully needing a lady and needs a lady quick. Here's the flop. Jack 10, 3, all clubs. Player with a club.
Maybe split up.
Turn is the 6 of diamonds. Cheng set to be eliminated. Cully set to be eliminated. Here's the river. It is the ace of clubs. Double elimination. Chang
Double seat
says
open.
goodbye.
6 and
Sad to
8.
see Cully Sadu go.
What for? 5 raise, 200.
MC Ace King of Diamonds, min raising on the button. We've got action. Ali in the small blind. Ace Queen suited, 21 bigs. Expect to see this going in. Especially with the big blind.
1 raise, all in.
Almost all in by default.
2 call.
Does shove, does shove.
5 call.
Does call. Here we go. We could see a double elimination here. 4.5 million in this pot. Andreas looking angry. Just the Jack 6 of diamonds. Does have 2 live cards. Two live cards, not the worst against the Ace Queen and the Ace King blocking each other. Here we go, Jack in the window. Jack 7-4. Andreas sitting back down. What a character. Turn is the Queen. Wow. Queen of Diamonds. What a turn card there for Ali. River is the deuce of clubs. Sickness for MC. Loses a chunk of chips. Ali will double up to 4.5 million, and Andreas has been eliminated, and that means we have 10 players remaining now. Takes down another pot. All these little pots add up.
Raise, 325.
Mick with a big hand here under the gun. Ace King offsuit.
7 fold. 1 fold. 2 fold.
$375.
325.
What's your next stop?
I thought it was to leave
Fold.
no, my brother, my best friend is living, one of my best friends is living, my brother is there already. I should have been today, but I'm in the flight. So yeah, I'm doing something. I'm playing the WPT there.
Okay.
But yeah, just,
Yeah, that should be a good one as well. One can or two can.
and come on.
Yeah. But they're good players in Amsterdam. Yeah, that should they're good.
5 is all in.
But it's also a nice city for tourists.
Yeah.
And I wanted to go to Ireland, but play something online now.
Irish Open is
MC all in over the top in the big blind.
Allows for cash.
yeah, for PLO cash as well is good.
They introduced an offer to come out for this.
Good PLO cash game as well.
All in. 6 is all
We're
in.
going to have action here.
Count.
Mick over the top. And I think Ali can get away from Ace King here.
So
This is crazy, guys. Ali might lose the absolute bare minimum with a hand as strong as Ace King. Mick's going to be in a terrible coin flip situation considering two of his outs are gone. That looks like what's going to happen here. What a difference a hand makes, because if Ali three bets pre like he's supposed to the majority of the time, MC will go all in with the tens, maybe even sometimes finds a fold. And then Mick, if he does jam, then Mick can probably just get away from his Ace King. Perhaps that's ambitious thinking on my part. You get my drift. MC all in and Mick all in, and Ali just needs to fold really to get a pay jump. Be 4 more million for him to call. Just seems too much to risk. But I don't blame him. Perhaps I think that that's an easier call, or easier fold than it is. What a weird hand. I mean, all the money goes in anyway, like it's supposed to the majority of the time. I feel like if there's a 3-bet though, we could maybe even consider folding a hand as strong as tens, facing an under the gun open and a 3-bet from the button. It is a 3-way all in, 11 million in the pot. And if Ali gets spike an ace or a king,
I did not expect that, to be honest.
and eliminate MC. This could be curtains for Mick. King, queen, 9. Two diamonds out there, and now it's looking like MC is going to hit the showers, and Mick and Ali will chop it up.
Oh my god.
Turn is the 4 of diamonds, and Ali, the player with the king of diamonds in his hand. Now he can eliminate both players with a diamond on the river. It is the 8 of clubs.
What a 6
What a free one.
Jesus Christ. Oh my god.
What a free one.
Big dick. One raise, 600.
Okay, raising. Pocket tens here, 600k to go. Queen jack on the button, getting out of the way.
So you have like, you said
We could see a big switch in chips here because Vitali has a hand most likely going to be rejamming with 4-handed and pocket 8s.
I'm all in. One call.
Does move all in. Anki is going to snap him off, and we are in an 80-20 situation here. And Anki, a very powerful player, set to have over 42 big blinds, or just under.
It's a nice hand.
Vitali going to send most of his chips, 5 million. Direction. The under the gun open. So he can spike an 8 or something to that effect. 7-9-4. Turn is a jack.
Give this man a set, please.
River is the 6 of hearts.
I still have, but Self-hog.
Einke now playing 40 bigs almost to start the hand. Pocket sevens.
One raise, 600.
600k to go.
Two calls.
Robert with all the chips. A very pretty hand in the big blind here. Queen Jack of clubs.
You've got 10 million.
9.8.
Nine, 7, 3, 2 diamond. Set for Ahuja.
5 checkers. One check.
Turn. There's a lot of equity to Robert in the form of an open-ended straight draw. And perceived 2 overcards that could be legit outs for Robert also. Little does he know his opponent has a set. Interesting check back from Ahuja.
1 minute.
And Robert going to bet a mil.
One call.
And wow, look at that for a run out. This is sick for Ahuja. $3.5 million in this pot. Robert really wants to size up here, betting about 2.5 mil. Even more. Go for pot size. 4.2 million, it looks like.
3.8.
3.8.
One call. Showdown.
And Ahuja is just going to call. That's so sick.
Wow.
Oh, he looks disgusted.
3.8.
3 fold.
Five raise, 500. 7 fold.
Ahuja, 10-8 off suit, facing the open from Robert. Robert is able to take down so many of these small pots. The blinds and antes adding up. Each time, of course, 625. Decimating the stacks of his opposition. Blinds and antes just coming around so fast.
One call.
Ahuja will call, and we've got an action flop here, an open ender for Robert, and Ahuja with second pair.
5 bet, 500. One race, all in.
Ahuja is going to shove for 15 bigs total. Taking a stand here against Robert. Not going to allow Robert to barrel him off on the turn of the river this time. Is just going to check jam. This is for about 10% of Robert's chips, and he might feel like he wants to gamble here. You see he's got a decent amount of equity. It's 3.4 million more for him to call. Interesting to see if Robert calls or folds this one. If he feels like Ahuja can be jamming hands like the one he has, and this jack is live also, I feel like he has to call this off. He is in pole position. He can kind of do what he wants. If he feels like edge passing here, then so be it.
5 call, showdown.
Robert does call. Big moment here now for Anke. Ahuja is all in, 59% equity. Going to be tough to beat Robert today. Robert with 41% equity, 10 outs to eliminate Ahuja in 4th place. 9.3 million in the pot.
Druhý pár jde na postup.
Co?
Druhý pár jde na postup.
Tak.
Turn is a jack. Not a good turn card for Ahuja. Just 12% equity now. 5 outs as we hit the river. River is a king, and it is GG for Anke Ahuja. Robert wins another one, eliminates another player. A very, very tough player. Most experienced player remaining in the field by a landslide. Robert now approaching 40 million in chips.